What is City of Violence about?
Well, it's a thriller. It's a detective story. Two detectives investigating a murder, and it starts like a very classic detective story, and it ends in a different way. You will have a surprise if you have a look at the movie. That's the main, yeah.
You not only you directed the film, but you also co-wrote the script based on the novel Zulu.
Based on the novel Zulu. Yes, exactly.
What was it about the book that drew you towards it to make this into a film?
Well, I mean, I really love the book, and but first finishing the book, because the producer offered me the book, and finishing the book, I said, "Wow, this is a great story, great characters." And Cape Town is one of the characters of the story, of course. But I can't do that because I'm not South African. So, you know, I said, no, thanks. But they insisted, and they said, okay, why don't you go there and spend a few weeks there and have a look and, you know, meet people. I said, yeah, okay. You can't say no to 3 weeks of vacation in Cape Town, you know. So I flew to Cape Town, and I spent a few weeks there, and at the end of his trip, I had the feeling that, in fact, being a foreigner could help me, in fact, in a way, because I didn't have the past of the weight. The weight of the past, sorry. I didn't have the weight of the past. For example, as a French, if I go to North Africa, which is a former French colony, I have the weight of the past. But here, I don't have it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm white, but I think I'm more comfortable sometimes talking with black, colored people, everybody in the country, than if I was South African. So I changed my mind. I said, okay, I can try to do it. Because I think this is a strong story, and because this is not a story about South Africa, but this is a South African story. It talks about, I mean, it's an entertaining thriller, but it talks about forgiveness. You know, how difficult and how important it is to forgive. So this is universal, but of course this is the best country to talk about that.
Mm-hmm. What was the experience like shooting it in the country?
That was great. I mean, one more time, because I'm foreigner, I really wanted to have South African crew. So I came here with my DOP and my first assistant, first AD, and that's it. Otherwise the crew was South African. And same for actors. We had the 2 leads from Hollywood,
mm-hmm.
but all the other actors were South African, and sometimes non-professional actors. And so that was a mix, and it did very well, in fact. It's a little bit like South Africa, you know. It's a mix. It's a mess sometimes, but it works.
2 major stars in the film, Orlando Bloom and Forrest Whitaker. How were they to work with? How were they here as well?
That was fun because, I mean, that was a special movie for them also, because that was not a Hollywood movie, and we wanted to keep it this way with Orlando and Forrest, to make it simple and to be as South African as possible. So they were really involved, and it has been very simple. Yeah, that was cool. I mean, there are 2 great actors, but there are 2 great guys also.
What kind of training did they do for the accent?
They train. I mean, Forrest has been to South Africa many times before shooting, and to Uganda, other part of Africa. So I know he worked when he was in US, because he was shooting The Butler, and he shot in a row. You know, he just arrived 2 days before shooting, but he worked hard in US on the accent. But Orlando worked weeks before. You know, he was totally focused on that. He wanted to be comfortable with the accent. And I mean, you know, of course, for me it's impossible to have a judgment on their accent. I know that it's totally impossible for foreigners to have the perfect accent. And I know it can be disturbing for South African audience. But I hope that the movie is strong enough, the story is strong enough, and help to forget, you know, that sometimes, oh, it sounds weird, oh, this is bizarre, you know. But I know, of course, you can't be perfect, that's impossible.
No, obviously.
Yeah.
And they do a pretty good job with both the accents.
I think so, yeah.
Was there ever a consideration to maybe try and find South Africans to play those 2 roles?
No, because, you know, as I said, it's a universal story, and the movie has been, we thought about the movie from the beginning as a movie that we were going to sell all over the world. So if you want to do that, you need to have stars. Otherwise, no one is going to buy your movie. For example, we have released a movie 1 month ago in Japan. And if you don't have stars in the movie, no one is going to see the movie in Japan. So that helps. But the other point also is that these two, I mean, they are great actors, and you have great actors in South Africa, but it's not the same to be a great actor and to be a lead actor and to be a star and to be able, you know, to attract everybody and to drive the movie. And I think that, I mean, working with these two guys was a great experience for me as a director, but also for the South African actors. And even for example, the guy who plays Cat in the movie, Randall Madgett, which is absolutely not professional and not a non-professional actor. You know, we found him with a street casting. He was in a rehab center. He's a former gang center, and he has been, you know, playing and acting, facing Forrest Whitaker Academy Award. That was exciting, and I think that helped him a lot. You know, it's like when you play tennis. If you play with a champion, with a very good guy, you become better. You know?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think he just beat me.
Yeah, he beats you, but you have the feeling to be a little bit better.
Yes,
you know?
yes, yes.
And on the other hand, when you play tennis against someone who is not very good, you know, and suddenly you're not good either. You know?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying completely. If I asked you to compare our South African actors, the ones you worked with in the film, with the two American stars, what would you think?
I think it's difficult because I think every actor is different. Every actor, I mean, Orlando and Forrest, they don't work the same way. They are different guys. Their technique is different, and that was the same for our South African actors. And especially because, I mean, as I told you, we've been working also with non-professional actors. So one was Randall Madgett, but Joël Kayembe, for example, who is a famous top model here, I think, but that was her first job as an actress. So
yes, or someone like Tanya van Graan, who's done international films before.
Exactly, yeah, and also Inge Beckman, who is a singer, who is not an actress. So
exactly.
I mean, every actor is different, but I think we were all looking. I mean, we were all looking to make the same movie. We were talking about the same movie, and that's why it did work.
One last question. I was just more curiosity than anything else. I was wondering why the name change. Is that a loaded question?
No, because everybody asks me the question. The name of the movie, the name of the novel is Zulu. We kept this title for most of the countries. And I think here, I mean, it's not my decision, you know, they decided to change the title. So, I mean, we could ask South African distributor. I think that they were afraid of, but the name Zulu could sound weird for a story which takes place in Cape Town. And that people would say, who is this stupid French director, you know, who named his movie Zulu and takes place in South Africa and no Zulu in Cape Town.
It's a bit of a pity because if you watch the movie, you do understand where the name comes from.
Exactly, yes. But I think they were afraid of it, perhaps.
Yes.
So they decided to change it. I mean, I'm not totally comfortable with City of Violence just because there is a violence in the title.
Yes.
And I mean, it's not a movie it's a violent movie, but it's not a movie about violence, you know. And I don't have the feeling that Cape Town is a city of violence. I think that there are violent places, you know, of course, like in many cities in the world. And but you know, that's the way it is. It's not in my hands.
Yeah.